maybe too loud. Let me put it to 50. Oops. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. Testing. I think it's better, but we'll have to see, I guess, what the stream says. Yeah. Alright guys, so for those in Dota TV, as you can probably tell, we've been trying to fix some of the audio issues here on the setup during the break, so...
What issues?
Please keep us informed if everything is smooth or bumpy.
I need those headphones, Rob.
Alright, so with that, I think we're about to hop here into the draft, guys,
no
so
game
thanks for
sound.
your patience.
With outposts.
Stop listening to the device. And then I'm gonna mute the music.
EHOME's turn to ban.
You just uncheck that box on that screen. Okay, and apply and hit OK. Okay. So now we just unmute and go whenever you're ready.
10 seconds remaining.
Rob.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Game 2 of this Best of 3 showdown. It's EHOME taking on MVP Phoenix. Best of 3 showdown here with MVP pulling the upset in game number 1. They lead the series by 1 and need to win only 1 more of potentially 2 games to advance into the top 3 of this group. And with that, the draft is underway, and they're going to open things up. First overall pick, Nature's Prophet. So even though they handled the Faceless Void, they decide to ban it out this time around, and they will mix things up here in the draft.
Hi, LD.
Hello, I'm joined here by Merlini. We're just getting set up.
I had to mute you. I didn't have my co-broadcasters muted.
Yeah, you just don't like listening to me. Okay, so Tusk for EHOME, the Old 11 special.
Going back to the Tusk. His Faceless Void was less than stellar. And apparently a lot of the other teams have been running Faceless Void too. XC apparently played a spectacular one in another series that is going on right now. Secret for CDC if you're interested. But while we're in this game, MVP Phoenix, I heard that they ran the exact same draft in some scrims. So no surprise there for some of the other teams, and played it in a very similar style. And surprisingly, EHOME have not touched the OD in terms of the banning phase.
Yeah, MVP also not showing too much priority in grabbing it, as they did have an option to go for it. Have not chosen to just yet. What about EHOME here? A lot of the games I've seen really, they seem to revolve a lot around CTY. Not to say that the rest of the team doesn't have a big impact, but more that, like, when they've had their most explosive performances, he's on a hero that just gets completely out of control, be it a Juggernaut. We've seen his, I think, even like Phantom Lancer at times. What do you?
I feel like a lot of times it's like they actually don't play around CTY, which is
no, not like the strategy plays around him, but more like the games where they dominate are the ones where he just like goes off the handle.
I see it go one of 2 ways. Like generally they just own without him, and then when he joins the fight, it's just completely over. Or like they just stall when he plays some other heroes like Juggernaut and Anti-Mage in particular. I think he doesn't mesh with the team very, very well. But that's, you know, kind of a different cry from what we saw him rise to fame in the most recent months with his Queen of Pain and whatnot.
So Batrider is picked up here by EHOME, and immediately MVP going to respond with the Venge, who has been the, I'd say overall, the most reliable way to deal with the bat. We see some teams experiment with Oracle. It's been hit or miss, but they'll get their solution to the lasso potentially there.
10 seconds.
Venge has a difficult time dealing with a Batrider in lane, though. So that's one way. Like, if Batrider's way over level compared to the Bat, sometimes level 1 range swap isn't actually good enough, because Batrider will have 4 stat by that point. So it's somewhat. I'm not gonna say it's risky. It's just there are some cons of having a Vengeful Spear versus a Batrider.
And even the Nature's Prophet, if they end up in a 1v1, not gonna be able to shut down a Bat on his own. So it seems like Batrider should have a decent start here, and I am interested to see how they look to run it. Historically, it's been an offlane Tusk for the team, but maybe it is going to be a support Tusk with an offlane Bat. So EHOME keeping their cards as far as the laning set up a bit closer to the vest here. And now entering that second stage of bans, they remove a Lycan, worried about heavy push from MVP as well as some Roche potential. Would have been very push-centric if they went that route. Now EHOME will enter the second stage. We saw last game a lot of emphasis on the vision game. it does already feel like EHOME will have a better time of that with the Batrider pick, so that's something they can look forward to.
Even without that, it was mostly, I would say, just because of the OD plus Marana, because they got first blood and they took control of that top
seconds
area.
remaining.
Marana got some good arrows off.
They haven't
So
banned any of those heroes though, so the
Phoenix's
option
turn
to go
pick.
for it's still there. But now you have the snowball save, so maybe that's the game changer.
and I think that Old 11 is a much better Batrider than his Faces Void. It's just something that he seemed a lot more comfortable with.
I've actually seen him dominate on Void, but it seemed like that quite a few
The
times.
matchup?
But that matchup was really tough because they just never missed the arrow astral combo. Time walk doesn't help you if you can't get it
10
off.
seconds remaining.
So MVP leaving
5
things open
seconds
through
remaining.
phase one. We know they have some early push and Roche potential here, but we haven't seen the cores that are
Reserve
going to set
time.
things up for the team just yet.
I wonder if they want to pick up a Slark versus the Batrider. OD's like okay, but he actually gets affected a lot by the turn rate, just because he needs to be highly mobile when he fights, and if he gets lassoed, he's generally just screwed. What other ones are there?
They're going for the double
EHOME's
Batrider
turn
counter
to
now.
pick.
They'll grab the Disruptor as well. So it will not be an easy Batrider game. You've got the Glimpse, you've got the swap. Until Batrider
It's
gets
still
BKB.
terrible in lane though, right? Like
Yeah,
the Venom's
that is
Disruptor,
true.
unless they have a good way to actually keep him in place, then.
So I guess that's where
it's
you're
not
looking
great.
for a strong safe laner, like maybe a Gyrocopter to discourage the bat from going in. What would you want to
I
see
still
here?
think Slark, just
10
because MVP
seconds
kind of like
remaining.
that sort of up in your face hero a lot of the time.
It is an MVP
5
special from back in
seconds
the day.
remaining.
For EHOME, what are they gonna run though?
Reserve time.
How about Invoker? Are you surprised we're not seeing him at all? I mean, there was the recent Deafening Blast nerf, but
It's just these
that's
two
more
teams.
from your late game Invoker than that tends to
It's
affect.
still a great hero. I don't really think you can go wrong without with picking Invoker. It's like, oh man, Invoker was definitely the wrong pick there. They should have gone for something else.
Crap!
Phoenix's turn to pick.
Should have gotten a Phantom Assassin. Morphling by EHOME, so this definitely gives them a little more stability, and MVP, light on the catch. They've got only Static Storm to keep the Morphling from easily popping the Strength Morph, and even so, BKB is going to solve the Glimpse solutions, or the Glimpse issue. So it is the Slark that you suggested. Matches up decently against Morphling, with the ability to punish him for being a stats-heavy hero, but at the same time takes quite a while to come into his prime.
The Morphling for CTO, I
10
think is very
seconds
important that he gets a hero that has great mobility, not
5
only with
seconds
waveform but
remaining.
also with the replicate, because oftentimes he's in this position where he really wants to farm because that's just the type of player that he is, but he also, like, his team like needs him to help, and then with the replicate he can actually be there a lot sooner and get involved in the fight so they don't get rolled in the early game. So it's nice for them. It's not particularly good versus any of the heroes. It's not particularly bad either. It's nice to have that.
10
It feels like it
seconds
just fits really
remaining.
well with what EHOME want to do,
Yeah.
more so than it like counters MVP.
5 seconds remaining.
So MVP last ban now, the OD gets removed, EHOME just don't want to deal with it. It's another way to
Reserve
potentially
time.
punish the Batrider initiation as well as just a strong hero in his own right. So they'll take him off the table, and now a Death Prophet ban. EHOME likely looking for that mid with a Tusk Phoenix support duo, or potentially even a Batrider rotating to the jungle early if they want to be a bit greedier. At least that's what MVP expect, and so the question becomes, what would that mid hero be then?
You know, I actually still think Puck is pretty good. Like Puck Quap, that kind of hero would still, because they could just like jump them and just blow someone up if they have a highly mobile mid. With Batrider,
10
Morphling,
seconds
Phoenix,
remaining.
Tusk, like all these heroes have ways to just like jump in on Phoenix's face and
5
just, you
seconds
want to kill that
remaining.
backline. You want to kill Disruptor as soon as possible. He's like pretty much their only good AoE in the static storm and
Reserve
kinetic
time.
field. And if you take him out of the fight, all other pieces will seem like they fall apart just super easily.
MVP, they've been
Phoenix's turn to
bamboozled here.
Oh,
They
indeed they
thought it
have.
was gonna be a mid hero from EHOME, and you know, maybe it is a brood mid, but it's definitely not the type of mid they were expecting. So
Bringing it back.
So Brood Mama comes out, generally the off laner, which would put Batrider mid, Morphling safe
Yeah.
lane.
But now MVP will probably put Slark mid, and then have a tri-lane top with a different safe lane.
So-
10 seconds remaining.
How do you lane against this Brood? Because they are just awful right now.
5 seconds remaining.
Dark? Can they? Do they fit in a Darkseer here? Who else is good?
Darkseer is actually not
Tide?
bad. Tide's okay.
First the Batrider.
Tide's pretty good. Like these are all like decent, I would say. They probably want one that scales a little
Legion
bit better
Commander, Axe.
though. Scaling issues though.
It's definitely a pocket pick that EHOME used well. I do recall them taking that crucial deciding game in the MDL Grand Finals on the back of a late Broodmother pick. Let's see if they can do it again here. Even should they win this one though, MVP have a game to give. So they'll take their time going through the last few moments here. But they've got a sudden problem on their hands.
I can't really think of any heroes that stand out to me as an excellent.
Yeah,
Brood
this is
counter.
not one that's excellent against Brood, at least not early, but it is a strong hero. I mean, I was surprised not to see Invoker prioritized a little more in this series, but a 10th overall pick, that's a rare one. It is an MP special though. The first time I ever saw this guy play was way back in, I think, the first Nexon season, and he was out of control on Invoker, and this was when the hero was not very popular. Went the Exhort build, was hitting all kinds of blind sun strikes, had no real setup a lot of the game. Definitely has the skills.
Well,
Is it
he's
the right
your
hero
lasso
for this
target.
game, though?
So let's see how they do the lanes. I guess it should be Slark in a safe and an Invoker in mid. I don't think Invoker
10
fares that well
seconds
versus a
remaining.
Broodmother, although their supports like aren't terrible versus Brood. They're terrible
5 seconds
against Brood
remaining.
like past like level 3 or 4, but at first few levels they should be able to bully 11.
And we're underway now. Game number 2 of this best of 3 showdown, folks. Hang on to your hats. EHOME came in as favorites. They can
Prepare
still
for
emerge
battle.
victorious, but they'll need to put 2 together. Lanham immediately's got a TP top, and they will also send the Phoenix of Kaka to bottom, so they want these aggressive wards down nice and early. They got one down in the bottom lane last game uncontested. And this time around MVP, they will not smoke, but they will march down as a squad of 5 to start things off. MP grabbing the early magic wand. It looks like he'll be expecting to lane against the Batrider. And that will leave QO as the safe lane Slark, so it'll be Slark versus Brood to get things going here. Kaka takes a little bit of harass from Forev. Boots first build for him. They aim for the D ward and they do scout it out. MVP. This will be some additional gold, and MP be the man to grab it. 50 into the piggy bank for him, as well as some experience.
Looked like Kaka actually wanted to drop the ward like from the secret shop or from the side shop, but he
30
looked like he
seconds
wasn't
to
able to get it. He's like, ah, okay, whatever. I'll just drop it in the lane, and then because of that, it actually gets dewarded.
So EHOME are going to camp out the top rune. They'll have to deal with some treants on the bottom lane, perpetually harassing Kaka back. As MVP move towards the top, will there be a contest? Rune's about to spawn, 10 seconds to go. Lanham kind of inching forward here. He does start to get the napalm out. Old chicken on MP is going to force out the Quas builds, at least for level 1. But MP will claim his bounty rune. So between that and a ward, he's off to a very good start. Meanwhile, bottom though, look at this from 4F. He's 1v2ing and winning the battle. His auto attack's just devastating CTY. Chasing him uphill with the Boots first build. I mean, he can morph more to strength, but he really doesn't want to. So, well, bottom lane looking really good here off the bat.
Yep, Knight's boots first coming out from 4F. And of course with that, already dewarded and him getting his share of experience is going to be pretty darn tough for EHOME. No stout shield carriers in this lane, so that 32 damage coming out from those treants are going to hurt a lot.
Now, when you see a start like this from a Prophet, you wonder why he's not picked more often. It's had a big impact. You see a sentry drop down in the top lane, but Old 11 is hidden, tucked away here in the tree line. Currently out of vision, is leeching his experience. And VP, no wave of terror from Febby. They're gonna drop a secondary sentry ward. They have cornered him as far as the webs go, but they can't find him. And I think Old 11, if he was paying attention here, saw at least one of these, if not both, get dropped out.
Really nice
Then
quelling blade
find
usage
more
though,
wards.
from QO. Like if you see he like cut down all these trees so that it's really difficult for Old 11 to actually find a good spot to hide, and he keeps on using the quelling blade whenever it's off cooldown. Eventually he might cut down the area to the south side of that tower, and Old 11 will have. I guess you just go to the left side then.
Yeah, both offlaners are going to be under pressure here. As 4F gets caught out, he's going to go for the TP. It's only a level 1 Tusk. So he will make it back, and he opted to TP all the way home. So he can hoof it back out, or he can buy that teleport scroll. Looks like he's just gonna run for now. It's old 11. He bided his time, and then he got the quick D-ward, dropped his own sentry. Quelling Blade gets used, so he'll clear things out a little bit. Only the one sentry to work with, a little bit of kill potential. And MVP, they come back and heat. An additional sentry was purchased, but 11 will back away. So far so good here for the Brood.
Well, now he knows that they're out of sentry. They have dropped a total of 4, 1 for that bottom observer and 3 in the top lane. So he should be good for, you know, a minute, hopefully for, in his eyes.
And he is shutting these supports down, both very level dependent.
Yep.
They're not getting a whole lot. And when they do, it's coming at the expense of QO.
He did a really good job of attacking that large camp so that it wasn't able to chain the pool. That was actually pretty darn important for 11.
Yeah, on the other side of the map, Lanham also struggling, still only level 1. Kaka level 1 as well, so I mean, both support duos really being forced to camp out in lane, nobody getting those easy pulls, the free experience. And as far as the safe lane farmers go, it is the Slark out on top. QO 19 and 7, the Morphling, CTY only 11 and 5 for now. And Lanham continues to take a beating bottom lane. Forced back, almost out of regen now. Triant's harassing the Morphling as well. MVP starting to push here. They want to draw EHOME up to the top lane, and they will do so as Kanka makes the rotation. He's got the Sunray available. Well as a swoop, their curse dive online. They'll hold the tower for now. They'll get old 11, his level 3. Let's see what Kanka looks to do. QO starting to use the level 1 Dark Pack, try and kill off of those spider lanes. Bird's starting to feel emboldened now. But this does free up 4Ev, and he'll have an even better time on the bottom lane.
Another good pull by 11, making sure that they can't leash that large camp into the creep wave.
Mid lane, MP, almost enough here for a kill an old chicken, but he'd already used both invokes, so doesn't have anything left. No tornado option there.
CTY is getting bullied by these treants.
They're just ridiculous. He can't deal with them. He's got 6 armor. It feels like it's simply not enough. Needs some sustain in the lane.
Mangoes for life.
More likely, I imagine we're going to see that Lincoln Spear build from him. Bottom lane, they roll in on the 4F, there's a waveform ready. Oh, it would have been close, but he needed the level 3 wave to get the kill. And he's 80 experience short, 78 to be exact. Pressure on both sides of the map there. Both teams ping-ponging between top and bottom, and so that leaves the middle lane as a more of a true 1v1, where old chicken, 16 and 8, staying even with the Quaswex Invoker. It's not taking even a single point in an exhort right now, so we are going to see pure utility here. Creating a little more room for the Nature's Prophet as well as Slark to go for the farming builds, should they so desire.
Another sentry dropped, and it will be out. Oh, chopped down.
Old 11, he's going to get stunned. There's the threat sentry plated down. They heal him up with the Sunray, but that's the first blood. MVP persisted as hell, and at long last they will connect, trying to get in range of Kaka. They barely get the glimpse up, bringing it back, and he swoops away. The Venge stun, I think, was just cooling down, or just maybe couldn't get the cast animation off in time, but they'll settle for the first blood, and it is on the Brood.
And 4F can TP up top if they want to really get this tower
Lanham.
down.
But doesn't seem like it'll be in time to get anything done.
Old chicken stacks up. Looks like he actually did fail to triple stack that camp.
Slark is having quite a good time, but you look at the other cores, and that's really where the difference lies. Although CTY's caught up, the other core struggling a bit more, especially the Brood, just nowhere near the Nature's Prophet's effects so far. But I guess he has kept the supports down, forcing them to buy. How many has it been? 5, 6 sentries at this point? So the question becomes if that's enough punishment from Mode 11, as they're hunting for him again. Still only a level 1 glimpse. We gotta get the vision here. They're gonna summon Triance. The whole squad's in position, but Nubu is gonna go down. They pop the parry for an old 11. He does get the experience. Still, it's a level 5 offlaner for support, but it requires a 4-hero commitment to get the job done.
He's doing a good job of not feeding his spiderlings. He needs to make sure he does that so, you know, those supports don't get their level 6 super quickly. But without TV on top of this tower, with no glyph for another 2 minutes, looks like that will be the next target for MVP.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Gonna TP the Disruptor in mid lane. Dubu wants to get a hell ground, or a high ground ward down. He's not gonna back himself away. QO continuing the siege. They are making rotations. Broodmother in, looking for the tower tonight. Oh, the Prophet gets the last hit. Those phase boots paying off, and old 11 Rushes forward. He might try to make a move on 4F. Teleport's cooling down. He has the scroll, but if one more set of Spider Leads hits him, he's likely to fall. Here, Spider Leads giving the vision inside of the trees. He'll snipe him out. And there's not much QO can do to stop it. They do stun ult 11, though. It might be a trade of the offlaners. Here it is. QO gets the last hit. This will allow him to pick up a 6.5 minute Midas, accelerating his farm curve even more. Back and forth game so far. Score 2-3. But MVP, with the tower kill and the farm advantage, now lead by 2,000 gold.
I wonder if CCY is going to see this Midas and try and go Midas of his own. What are his other options? I guess Lincoln's is also pretty good versus Disruptor and Invoker.
If anyone's going to go Midas on Morphling, I think it's CTY.
It's a big camp. Old Chicken doesn't really want to share experience with the likes of MVP.
Just getting the gold at this point would be better than nothing, because MVP are moving into position. There's no level 6 on Disruptor, so the catch for CTY is not the best. But the creeps are getting sniped down. MVP looks like they got a couple of those. Here comes the replicate, they'll deal with it. So they do some great economic damage here. Delaying Old Chicken's Blink Dagger. 7.5 minutes though, he's on a good pace for it. And as they rotate him into the woods, they will bring Lanham and now CTY over to mid. So a bit of lane swapping, EHOME. Catching up and waiting for some key items. Kaka also level 5, so he's having a good time on the Phoenix overall, and this does go back to the dual lane.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's structure is Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has been denied. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are falling. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Someone deserves a better death.
Win a team fight. Play from there.
MP is scouting. He's opted for the Force Staff here as yet another tool to deal with the Bat Rider. They already have the Orchid for the Nature's Prophet, but he'll be the scouting party who looks to find heroes off on their own and then call in the reinforcements. They don't need him now though. Hero blinks forward, up onto the high ground he goes, forcing old chicken back, forcing out the Firefly, which will use to try and defend the tower. They even committed a Static Storm here in the mid lane. And apparently CTY is lagging.
Another good glimpse coming out from Zubu. We'll pull Bat Rider into the T3 and into the waiting hands of QO and the rest of MVP. And Firefly gonna expire pretty darn soon.
Dire's top tower is under
Oh,
attack.
MVP. Up they go.
Radiant's middle tower
QO
is
out
under
in front. Eye of Scotty is online. He's got Alacrity as well, so he's hitting very hard. Attack speed is already substantial. They're going to silence Kaka. They just run in on him with the auto attacks. He needs that snowball save, but he's going to need to elbow roll him into the middle of MVP. Can he possibly get the egg off in the midst of it? No, he wants to die back. That leaves Lanham as the sacrifice. He will egg, but it's from distance. So it's up to old 11 to fight against the entirety of MVP on his own, and he just can't do it. MVP run him down. The gem drops a double kill and a wicked 6 streak. MVP looks like they did recover it. MP grabbing the gem, retreats out. 16-5 the score. But while that was all happening, CTY starting to get a little more freedom on this map, up to 3,200 gold. But MVP just keep on beating on the front door. They'll force down the tower. They're not going to let them escape easily. A fence stun is going to warn old chicken back. And he won't be able to counter-initiate or punish MVP at all. So in the end, tier 2 drops in the top lane. They do some significant base damage. They hang onto the gem. And the game stabilizes at a 12,000 gold lead, about a 10,000 experience lead. All of that favoring MVP.
Yep, just keeps on going in one direction. Start with the night vision.
Is there a point this game where you feel Morphling can take over? Do you ever see him being able to out carry a Slark with the support of his team, or is the longer this goes, does it just get worse and worse for EHOME?
Just gets worse and worse. They have like he needs BKB for Static Storm and the Orchid, and even like a Tornado into EMP, which will drain the large portion of his mana. The Tusk, maybe if he gets like a Blink Dagger, can help save some people, but they just actually have no real good tools to kill MVP. It's all a survival game.
MVP, we're moving forward, but unfortunately CTY baits them out with the replicate now. Oh, they still get the jump. Tornado coming in, they're gonna silence Lanham, prevent him from getting anything off here. They go for the lasso, but it's not enough. Nebi's there with the quick swap save, and now they turn it. QO's gonna be low, and this might think to kill up the Sarga would be huge, but he's able to retreat out. He's gonna heal up. 4Ev also down. This could be the turn of the tides, a 2 for 2 thus far. Spiderlings getting active. QO's ready to jump back in though. CTY, he's heavily strength morph. They're gonna force out the egg here. Can QO finish it off solo? Looks like he's got the firepower. He gets the kill. QO, no ultimate now though. He's surrounded by the Brood Bomb, and they need this kill. He's so low. The Spiderlings poking him. They get him. A triple for old 11. Massive swing of momentum. EHOME, that was the fight they needed. And with it, a 3,700 gold swing, a 4,000 experience trade, and a sharp tick up in the graphs.
Oh, finally they get a good fight. The lasso came at a really good time. They had to blow a lot of cooldowns to save that Slark. And I think the BKB from Broodmother is actually doing a lot of work against MVP.
They don't have that much right click. It's not a cost exorbitant invoker. The Slark takes a while before he really starts hitting hard, and Avenge does bring up quite a bit of physical damage to the table, but you're right, the Brood has been a real nuisance in the back lines.
I was really surprised that they were able to come out on top of that fight, especially with like the swap coming out on the lasso, the egg dying from there, but a surprising amount of damage coming out from the spirits, the Sunray, Morphling just not dying in the fight, even Batrider who died very early on, even with his Firefly. So they're doing better than I thought.
Now they blunt the momentum, but for MVP, they're going to slow things down now. We'll see Forev. Back to an Aghanim Scepter. And that does feel like always an option available for MVP. It's just if they don't want to fight, you can always split push with the Slark, rat with the Prophet, just stall the game out and keep the farm going. Whereas EHOME, they're the team that now are emboldened. Looking here in the top lane, they want QO, but QO is played very cautiously. And they're not going to catch him out.
They actually need a gem of their own, I think, on EHOME, so they can take down the ward from MVP and hopefully get some good ganks with Batrider when their team isn't around. But looks like MVP already inside the pit. Wave of Tear, Force of Nature.
The lanes are pushed out. There's a lot already to deal with here. And without that pickoff that they were hunting for, it seems MVP will get the Roshan again. So now they'll get even more insurance, as we'll see our Slark QO grabbing himself a Hyperstone. Very likely the Moon Shard's coming out.
Yeah, we have Scepter up on Evoker too, so that's extremely bad for EHOME.
That's the thing, is it's not just the Slark. It's going to be a super stacked Slark here with the Alacrity on him later on in the game. Tough for anyone to man fight. And they just don't have the best lockdown, as we've talked about at length here. Only the lasso if you somehow force out the Dark Pact and there's no swap.
And he has Aegis.
You're just putting salt in the wound now, man. But EHOME have to feel a little bit better at the very least that they got that one fight going their way. Something positive for the first time in the series, I have to say. I guess the key item we're looking at for EHOME now is going to be the Ethereal Blade. CTY up to 3,300 gold. Nothing on the courier yet, so still needs the Ghost Scepter money as well. They're going to reveal him in the mid lane. The Replicate will follow the team through the smoke.
They should actually kill the NPL. NB is actually number 2 in net worth. Sark's way too difficult to kill, but the risk reward for killing the Nature's Prophet is really, really good because they'll get tons of experience, tons of gold, and pretty much don't even need to commit any sort of ultimates. They can just snowball on him and he's dead if they can actually find him, though. That is the main issue.
EHOME made the smoke play, but they didn't find anything. Instead, it's MVP hammering away at the tier 2 top. QO, the man in front, with emboldened by the Alacrity. He hits extremely hard and very fast. The tower will end up dropping here. Last hit going to the Dire. Let's see how confident MVP are. Age is still online. Almost the Moon Shard's ready if they want to go. They're holding back Forev, but the teleport's available. The Nature's Prophet is online, and QO is going to march into this. But that Sunray, my god. One-man D-push.
Good spell. Pure damage.
Halts the push in its tracks.
Yep, buys enough time for CDY to hopefully get some damage on that T2 in the bottom lane. Forev scared for his life, just sending out treants behind the protection of his T1 tower.
Not to mention to get
like
the
MVP
Ethereal Blade.
really want to make a move with this wave. Sunray.
And creeps are massacred, but QO, he tanks the Sunray. Can't tank it, he tries. He will be forced back, and they're going to converge on mid instead. Old 11 moving in now. The Rat intensifies, but it's from the team with the Morphling and the Brood, not the Nature's Prophet. They'll get the tower mid, Replicate available. He's going to wave himself back to safety. They do descendo onto CTY. They found him. They're going to glimpse him back. Static Stormy might even be safer from this. 2 heroes waiting, but it's up to 3,000 health. Oh, CTY. Okay, not so safe anymore as QO arrives, blinks in, cleans him up, bought his BKB, did not go for the Ethereal Blade, but will have a buyback. Just barely available should MVP continue, and I believe they should, and they shall.
Can Sunray hold off this push without the aid of the T3 tower?
They're gonna need all the fire. Sunray, the Firefly, everything immolating. But QO, not to be dissuaded by this, Age is still online, goes in. Just can't escape the Sunray. Head to the left, the Sunray tracks him down. Tornado will stop it in its tracks, but it is just the Phoenix that is saving their base right now. I have not often seen a Phoenix control the high ground this hard, but this is one of those moments. It's allowing Old Chicken to sit back, but now they get in. Sunray cooled down, but they've already done significant structural damage here. MVP closing in on their first lane of Rax. And with that, the map control, they blink forward on old 11. BKB is available. He's going to be forced to pop it defensively, and he might go down anyway. He will be pincered off and finished by QO. Now the egg gets dropped, but QO's on top with massive attacks. Can he finish the egg? He will do so. That's 4 down, and it's going to be 5 there with 5x streaming out the Morphine, only now just respawning, but has no firepower. The racks are down. MVP. They've got EHOME on the ropes. They've broken into their base. Their home is in trouble, and perhaps with this, it will be burnt down fully. They immediately rotate on the top lane. There's no egg available. There's really not much to work with here. Not even a walrus punch or lasso. It's all down for the count.
They have Sunray.
Too little, too late, it feels. MVP with the shocking upset likely upon us. They jump in again, QO. We have seen this from the man before. Harkens back to his TI5 days, where he took over on the Embers, the Slark at times. That's 2 lanes of Rex. EHOME, prohibitive favorites in Group A, are not feeling like favorites at all anymore. They'll rotate onto bottom, looking to end this game at 29 minutes. Age is still online, and they've got about 30 seconds here as he blinks it again. The snowball's forced out, land him on the retreat, but QO with 31 essence chips plus 93 agility, and the Aegis to work with, jumps away to save, even popping the Midas in their faces. Ultrigan jumps in and definitely blasts to turn this. The Meteor gets dropped right on top of the Bat Rider, dying by the own flames that he looks to be aggressive with. Most of the time, they get yet another kill. Buybacks coming out, everybody else their skills are trying to hold the line, but even if EHOME get a team wipe, it is still going to be a massive uphill climb, and that's asking a lot right now, because QO up to 43, Essence Ship stacks 129 plus agility, is now attacking 0.3 times every 0.3 seconds, with just 3 attacks per second, and that is a few attacks per second too many. The GG is called. EHOME are going down to the lower bracket on home turf. They can't do it, and they will drop game number 1, as well as 2. 2-0'd by MVP Phoenix.
They got smashed.
Absolutely brutal. They felt very figured out. Now this is a team with 71 as the coach, as well as a very veteran leader in Lanham as their captain. And we have seen EHOME recover nicely from losses in the winter bracket. We saw it at Frankfurt. They still made a very deep run there in the last major. But starting like this in the group stage, Ben,